God forbid a girl be without a place to dump her feelings, I feel a little bit shady. There is something about the sound of a chainsaw that just incites violence within my little heart. Babe, get over it. I want to crawl into your ribcage and live there forever kind of love. Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name is Amy, and since we have a couple of new faces on the channel, I just wanted to reintroduce this challenge. Welcome to episode 2 of Spine and Punishment. This is a series in which I am going to try to read all of the books on my physical TBR and see whether I want to keep it or whether I want to unhaul it. In episode 1, I read Demon Cophead by Barbara Kingsolver. I laid out all the rules, and so if you want to get caught up, I will leave that video up top so that you can check it out. For episode 2, we're doing things just a little differently. In episode 1, I used a spinning wheel to select what I would be reading. For episode 2, I have asked John to pick a selection of books that are going to make up my TBR for this go around. He has chosen a variety of different genres. Let's get into it. First up, John picked Henry and June by Anaïs Nin. These are collected diary entries from diarist, essayist, and writer Anaïs Nin. She is a French-American writer, and we are following a period in her life in which she is trying to come to terms with her sexuality. She is trying to come to terms with the fact that she might not be as heterosexual as she thought she was, and so we have a lot of lesbian longing, and I think that this is going to be pure, unadulterated chaos. Next up, we have another novel from the 30s. This is The Shutter of Snow by Emily Holmes Coleman, and this is a story of postpartum psychosis. It has an incredible blurb, and it's quite short, which is all a win in my book. Some days, Marthgale believes she is God. Others, Jesus Christ. Her baby, she thinks, is dead. The red light is shining, there are bars on the window, and the voices keep talking. And so I think that this is going to be a very fever dream type novel. I love books about motherhood. I also love books in which we discuss mental illness. It is something I don't think we talk about often enough, and so this just combines two of my favorite things to read about. Then we have Managing Expectations by Minnie Driver. Minnie Driver is an actress that I have enjoyed when I have seen her on screen, and she has a podcast. I have not yet listened to the podcast, but now I think it might be the right time to do so. This is a book all about how things go badly until they don't, and I'm really excited to see how Minnie Driver portrays her experiences. I'm usually a bigger fan of memoirs that are from the perspective of just regular, everyday people, but I have read the first couple of paragraphs of this book, and I think it's going to be a good time. I think it's going to be easy to fly through, and hopefully there will be some nuggets that I can take away. Then we have a South African author, which I am very excited for. I have really been enjoying my African fiction. We have Selling Lip Service by Tammy Baiki, and this is a book in which we live in a world where you can get something called a lip service patch, and what this means is when you wear it, you are not in control of the things that you say or the things that you write. Your words are not your own. I also think that the cover is a lot of fun. Our last runner-up is a bit on the chunkier side. We have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This one is very popular, and I don't think it needs much of an introduction, but in case you missed it, Addie LaRue has made a deal with the devil, I believe, and because of it, nobody who she speaks to or interacts with can ever remember her once she's left their presence, until one day a boy does. So I've heard that it's very lyrical. I heard that it's very purple prosy, which is something that I always enjoy. I'm looking forward to a little bit of magic throughout all of the other very real things that I will be reading about this month. Hello, I didn't think I'd be updating you again so soon. It's been not even an hour, but I just had a very exciting delivery. Also, please do me a huge favor and ignore the laundry chair. I know you have one too. Anyway, I got a new journal. God forbid a girl be without a place to dump her feelings. It's a hardcover. It's got 100 GSM paper. It's A5 and it has 144 sheets. I like something on the thicker side, and I'm just super stoked that it's here. It's got one of those like squishy covers, which is a vibe, and the insides look like that. So charmed, but the reason I am here is because I want to let you in on our December plans. John has just finished reading Brandon Sanderson's like sci-fi YA series. I think is it called Wayward? Maybe? I don't know. And so I decided that I would get us a nice chunky book to read together in December. Let me just open it. Hold on. 2 seconds. I got John The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, and this is what we're going to be reading together in December. So if you want to see that, please do stay tuned. I am sure I will film the whole process. I have a much mankier secondhand edition of The Way of Kings. My copy looks like this. But I am very excited and very stoked, and I think we're going to have such a good time. So now that I have the book, I kind of want to be extra about it. I am going to wrap this bad boy up. I might write him a little letter to go with it because that would be cute. And then we'll see if I add any other goodies to it. But I'm hyped. Thank you for joining me with book updates that you needed to hear. I'll see you again in a little bit. Hi, Editing Amy here. I just wanted to show you what I ended up doing for John. I had a clip where I explained everything, but it has zero audio. So I made us matching bookmarks for The Way of Kings that we're going to be buddy reading in December. It has a little crown that sticks out at the top when you put it into the book itself, but the individual bookmarks look like this. I think it's really cool, really pretty. It matches the cover really beautifully. I will insert a little photo of how the bookmark looks with the book. I think it's really cool. John had the best reaction. He was so excited. I will hand you back to Amy from the past, who is continuing the vlog. Bye. Hello, happy Wednesday. The past 2 days have been filled with household admin and household chores. I have started reading 2 books. I decided to go with a physical as well as an audiobook. So for my first book, I picked up Henry and June by Anais Nin, and this has been an experience. I'm very uncertain how to talk about this book because this isn't a novel in a typical sense. It's not a bunch of essays. I'm not even entirely sure if the intent with this writing was to be published. I'm not sure who gave that the go-ahead. So we are reading diary excerpts and entries, and so I feel a little bit shady. I feel very nosy and intrusive in a definite regard, but I'm also a little bit hooked, and I also kind of can't stop reading it. So I'm having a really good time. We're talking about marriage. We're talking about what it's like to be a creator. We are very much reflecting on the volatile ways in which creative people see and experience the world. Anais Nin has very strong emotional reactions to things, and in that sense I feel kind of seen because I too have very strong emotional reactions to things. We're also talking about romantic relationships, and this is a lot racier than I thought it would be, given that it was published in the 1930s. I'm especially intrigued by her, I think, first lesbian lover. From what I can tell, it seems to be the first, and just the strength with which she describes her attraction and also her loyalty to this person. And it's kind of wild because her husband's right there on the blurb. She says, "I really believe that if I were not a writer, not a creator, not an experimenter, I might have been a very faithful wife." And so it's just been a really interesting peek into her brain. And then for the audiobook, I picked up The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Miss V.E. Schwab. I'm having mixed feelings on this one. So when I first started it, I thought it was really charming. But now that I'm about 20% of the way through, I'm finding it a little bit repetitive. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be reading the entirety of this book. I think I'm going to give it until about 25-30% and then I'll make a call. But that's been the reading. We have not been a very interesting human being over the past 2 days. I've been editing my spooky season blog and I am enjoying that process a whole bunch. So if you missed it, I did a spooky season blog where I read spooky books, watched spooky movies, ate spooky snacks. And if you missed it but you'd like to see it, I will link it up top for you. I think that's all the admin, all the housekeeping, and I will have to check in once I have something more to say. Hello friends, it is Monday and I am overstimulated. We had some tree fellers in the garden earlier because we had some problematic branches and they have been removed, but there is something about the sound of a chainsaw that just incites violence within my little heart. Additionally, I did laundry today and I was so busy listening to some music that I didn't realize it was raining, and so it rained on my laundry. and I don't think it's going to be dry before tomorrow, and so I will likely have to wash it again. But such is life. It is Monday, as I have said, and I'm very excited because tomorrow is my friend Isabel's birthday. I love birthdays, and I've made her a little playlist. It's really, really cute, and I think she's gonna like it, so we're very excited for that. Other than that, I think I really just need to regulate my emotions, and something that I've been finding very relaxing is mosaic. So I went to this mosaic shop, which you have seen in the B-roll, with my mother-in-law. She had a mosaic project in mind, and I just tagged along because it sounded cool. And I found these bags of offcuts. They are dirt cheap, and you just play with them. I am someone who is very, very intimidated by expensive art supplies, and so I will buy myself something nice, and then I'll never use it because then I have to be perfect, and I don't feel that way at all with this kind of craft. So I highly recommend that for the perfectionist in your life. It is so much fun. I hyperfixated hard. I made 2 coasters and a wall hanging, which I will pop up on screen here if you want to see. Don't judge me. They're my first pieces, they are my babies, and I am still learning, but I think they're pretty cool. I think what I am going to do is I might do some mosaic while I listen to my audiobook. I am about 300 pages into The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and it's fine. I'm not really enjoying it as much as I thought I would. I'm not hating it, but I'm not loving it. I think if younger Amy had read this, it would have been her shit, but I am no longer younger Amy, and so I'm finding it a little bit repetitive. I do think I will finish it, but I do also feel like the parameters of Addie LaRue's curse does get repeated quite a lot. I'm also not entirely sure if this is because I'm listening to the audiobook and if it would be less jarring if I read it physically, but the time skips are just driving me nuts. I never really know where I am, and maybe that's on me for not paying enough attention, but I'm not really enjoying how disjointed everything feels. I'm also still busy with Henry and June by Anais Nin, and it's going okay. I feel like there's a lot happening in this book, and I feel like her emotions are always at 1000%. And while I can relate to that personally, I do find it a little bit exhausting. So I decided to take a break from this and jump into a different fiction. I didn't want to read my audiobook physically because it was my audiobook. And so I picked up Selling Lip Service by Tammy Bikey, which I'm very excited for. And this was not good. I did not enjoy my time here. I think I read the first 30 or so pages, and I personally just thought it was very overwritten in a way that felt very clunky and counterintuitive to the text. So I will be DNFing this, which means that my next options are The Shutter of Snow by Emily Holmes Coleman. This is the one about postpartum depression. I'm very excited about this. And Managing Expectations by Miss Minnie Driver. I do think I'm going to go with The Shutter of Snow, just because I'm already reading a kind of autobiographical nonfiction, and so I think a fiction would be a nice change of pace. Hello friends, we have movement on Spine and Punishment episode 2. I finally finished The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I am so ready to unhaul this book. Spoilers, didn't like this book at all. I felt like it really dragged on, and I feel like the story had so much potential. I was so excited by the premise, but the expectations were too high, and the execution just didn't do it for me. I feel like this book could have seriously benefited from being edited down a lot. It was so thick, and I feel like it really didn't need to be. I listened to the audiobook narration was fine. It wasn't something mind-blowing, and I don't really think it took away from my experience of the book as a whole. I feel like my problems were more with the writing, and the writing for me was very repetitive. Why are we on page 400 and still getting descriptors of what our main characters look like? Ma'am, we know. I was so frustrated by the constant description of Addie LaRue's 7 freckles and Luke's green eyes, and it just really took away from the experience. Speaking of things that got really tired really quickly, I feel like there was this overdrawn metaphor of the relationship between Addie and Luke, the demon who cursed her, and that metaphor was that they were fighting a battle or fighting a war, and it just, one, felt really misplaced because it was not like that at all, in my opinion. And two, it just kept being repeated, and it felt like it actually detracted from their relationship because it felt like there was no nuance. It was like we were honed in on this one aspect of their relationship for 300 years. Babe, get over it. So I did not have a good time with this book. We are going to be unhauling it, and we can move on to greener pastures. I am so excited. While I'm still reading Henry and June and The Shutter of Snow, I really just want to dive into Managing Expectations by Minnie Driver. Addie LaRue was the audiobook that I was listening to, and when I finished it, I had this notion, this inkling, that Minnie Driver might narrate her own audiobook, and I was so right. She does, and it's wonderful. But it's so wonderful that I also want to read it with my own two eyes, so I think I'll be tandem reading this bad boy because her voice is just velvet. It's delicious, and so I really don't want to miss out on that experience. I think I'm going to throw caution to the wind. We're just going to jump into this one. It is a rainy, gloomy day, and I have put in so many extra hours, so many late hours, so that I could have today off. And I think I did it. I think today is the day we just get to kick back, relax, and do some reading. Hi friends, happy Monday. It is the start of another week and I really need to get my reading together because this video has to go out on Saturday, as in this week Saturday. So I've edited what I have so far and that's taken a whole load off of my plate, which has been nice. I also took the entire day off on Friday to read. But when you're diagnosed with ADHD at a much later age, like I was, you have this notion that you're going to get these meds and these meds are going to absolutely change your life and fix you as a person, and to a large extent it really does, and I'm very grateful to be able to drink the medication that I drink. It's awesome. But nobody warns you that your brain will still hyperfixate on stuff outside of your control, except this time you're much better at staying focused on that thing. And so I have been doing absolutely nothing but watching Critical Role and mosaicing. I recently discovered Critical Role and I fear it's become my new personality. It's taking over my life, and I know that these periods pass and so I should just enjoy them while I have them, but I'm starting to get a little stressed out. So I don't have much of a reading update. I read the first 100 or so pages of Managing Expectations and it's really good. And I would highly recommend the audiobook because I think a nonfiction works so much better when the narrator is the author, and this is obviously happening, and Minnie Driver is an actress, so she's really, really good at stuff. I am really, really enjoying it, so do with that what you will. As for things I did do this weekend, I watched Your Name with John. It was a whole bunch of fun. I cried my eyes out like a baby. I watched the stage production of Chicago, and God, I love theater. I love theater so much. So it's been a really good weekend, but I have no more reading updates for you, so I think I'm going to leave you with some B-roll while I go fix that. Hi friends, it is Friday. This video needs to come out tomorrow, and so naturally I have procrastinated this until the very last minute, but I think we have something that is doable. We have something that's workable. I did finish Managing Expectations by Minnie Driver. I really enjoyed this book. I feel like it was very heartfelt, is the word I'm going to use to describe the overall tone of the book. It does get a little bit heavier towards the end there, so if you are someone who is dealing with the loss of a parent, maybe don't pick this up just yet. But all in all, I really enjoyed my time with this one. I think the audiobook is so worth listening to. Minnie Driver is excellent. It's also very cool when an actor or actress reads their own audiobook because they obviously know what the people in their lives sound like and can mimic it. And so it's just a really special experience. I enjoyed this, would highly recommend. It is not my favorite memoir ever, but I did have a good time. And then on a completely different note, I finished The Shutter of Snow by Emily Holmes Coleman, and this one I am still having a really hard time pinning down. I'm really not sure how I felt about this book. I enjoyed the writing style. It is a book that plays around with grammar. There are, for instance, no quotation marks when people are speaking. And normally, when somebody like Sally Rooney does that, I find that I am not a big fan of it. But seeing as we're talking to or hearing from a woman who is having hallucinations, I think it's a very clever little literary device. And so you're never quite sure what is and isn't happening. Because of that, the narrative does feel a little bit all over the place. It is also repetitive, but it is also something that makes sense for the story. And so I won't fault it in the same way that I faulted Addie LaRue. I don't know, it was very difficult connecting to this character just because she was all over the place all of the time. I do think it was deeply funny at moments. And then we have the book that's been following me throughout this entire vlog. We have Henry and June, which I still haven't finished. I have about 160 pages left, which I need to finish before tomorrow. I think that's completely doable, but not if I stay yapping. So I'm going to do that, and then we can talk about everything that we've read. It has been 84 years since I have updated this vlog, and I do apologize. I missed my Saturday upload, so this video will be going out this week Saturday instead. Apologies, but I was gone for a very good reason. So first of all, I got bangs. Hello, I feel like I'm back. I have had bangs for a very long time, and I just feel like they are my favorite accessory. I just love them. I love them, and I don't feel like myself without them, and I was growing out my hair and it was a whole ordeal, and I just decided, fuck it, I want bangs. And so I have bangs now, but I also have a snake. So when I was a wee little tyke, my one science teacher used to have a snake in his classroom, and I was obsessed with her. I thought she was the coolest little critter to ever have existed. I've been talking about getting a snake for as long as John has known me. It's been a really long time. And he decided that he was going to offer me a snake as a Christmas present, an early Christmas present. And so we had to do a whole bunch of research and make sure that we had everything sorted, because we were to pick her up this Saturday. And she is perfect. Her name is Ophelia. I named her after the painting, not after the Shakespeare character or the Lumiere song, because I thought people would get it. Nobody's gotten it so far. So that is that reference. It is a painting that I had up in my childhood bedroom for a really long time. So it just seemed to suit her. I'm going to be putting a photo of Ophelia on screen now. So if you're squeamish about snakes, please do look away. It won't be for very long. But let me assure you that she is very cute. She is the prettiest snake I've possibly ever seen, ever. So this is Ophelia. She is perfect. She's settling in so well. She hasn't shown any signs of stress. Back to the books. I did manage to finish Henry and June, because I feel like I was also taking forever to finish that book. I finished it last night, and I have no idea how to review someone's diary entries. I feel scummy for even trying to review it as you would a normal novel, so I'll just say that I had a pretty good time. I feel like this maybe wasn't the right time for me personally to read this book. I also didn't know it was labeled as erotica, so I have read my first erotica book at the age of 26, and it was okay. It was pretty good. I love the obsession of the love, and it is very difficult for me to kind of believe that this is a real person. The way that she writes is very much like there's no fucking way. But she just falls into these relationships, and she is just like cheating on her husband, and she's going through the feelings of guilt, and there is just a lot going on in this experience. So if you're looking for something raunchy, if you're looking for something sexy, if you're looking for something that explores a lesbian love, and if you're looking for an obsessive kind of love, like I want to crawl into your ribcage and live there forever kind of love, then Henry and June might be the novel for you. But with that, I have finished all of the books I set out to read for episode 2 of Spine and Punishment. I think we must do a quick little wrap up, because for me, it's been a really long time since I've spoken about the rest of the books. We started off with reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I feel like my expectations were set too high for this book because it disappointed me in a lot of ways. So we will be getting rid of this. This wasn't for me personally. Then I DNF'd Selling Lip Service by Tammy Bikey. This one, in my opinion, was just overwritten and didn't really suit the story it was trying to tell. Then I read Managing Expectations by Miss Minnie Driver, and I had a really good time with this book. I feel like this book is overall pretty heartwarming, so this wasn't something that rocked my foundations, but it is something I had a really good time with. It was perfect for the kind of reading mood that I was in at the time. I would highly recommend the audiobook if you're going to pick this up. Minnie Driver does an excellent job of narrating things. I thought this was very funny. I really enjoyed her depictions of childhood and the kind of roller coaster she went on when she became famous. This like tug of war between wanting to be perceived and being perceived too often or too much, or not in the way that you thought you wanted to be perceived, and I just had a really good time with this. I read The Shutter of Snow by Emily Holmes Coleman. I will be keeping this book. This was a very strange experience for me. It is very all over the place. It is very fever dream-esque. It is very much like you can't really trust the narrator, and the fact that you don't trust the narrator because she is going through a psychotic episode is kind of aligned with the fact that she is also a woman living in the 1930s and people don't really tend to believe her narrative no matter what. And so that was a really interesting situation to be put in. I have a really weird relationship with this book because I feel like it depicts psychosis very, very well, and I am someone who has gone through psychosis, and so it brought up a lot of weird feelings. But overall, I do think that this is a good read. It's very experimental, and if you want to give it a shot, it's less than 300 pages. Lastly, I finished Henry and June by Anais Nin, and I had a really good time with this. This is a series of diary entries that span a very tumultuous year of her life. It is a year in which she starts 2 separate love affairs. It is somewhat disturbing at times, I'll give it that. I won't spoil anything, but I am very, very glad that professional practices have more ethics than they did in the 1930s, or at least I hope they do. This is a very obsessive take on love and lust and desire and wanting to be possessed and not really knowing whether you want to be a dominant force in your relationships or not. So if that sounds like something that you would enjoy, I would highly recommend picking this up. There are some beautiful lines in here, but this is also a kind of disjointed look at her life. You get a monthly overview, so you don't really have specific dates, and so because of that it feels like she jumps around quite a lot, but as soon as you give into the experience, I feel like it's a pretty good time. And with that, episode 2 of Spine and Punishment has come to a close. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for keeping me accountable and making sure that I read the things that I have already bought and own. It has been a really good feeling running through my TBR and making sure that I am reading the books that I am buying. I really appreciate you being here. Let me know if there's anything you want me to do next in terms of Spine and Punishment. Is there a specific way in which you want me to choose my books? Did you like John picking my books? I thought it was a pretty good time. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a lovely week further, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!